Towns this fire season is bringing back some devastating memories.
Our Dylan Scott returned to one community still recovering from significant fires while monitoring potential threats on the horizon.
It's been about 4 years since the Beachy Creek Fire burned most of the town of Detroit. And with the Pyramid and Slate fires burning on the horizons behind us, residents here say it brings back some tough memories of all they've lost, but also of what they've learned.
Mixed emotions and a lot of, how can I say, shock and awe type thing.
For Detroit residents like Russell Boyd, his family, and others, the smoke from the Slate Creek Fire brings back deep scars on their memories left 4 years ago.
The rest of her family lost their houses. Her uncle lost a house. Grandma, everything, lost a house. And the biggest thing is they grew up here, and some people don't understand. They lost everything in there.
While it's only burned about 50 acres and nowhere near the threat of the Beachy Creek Fire, this wildfire burning on the ridges above the town shows how far their preparations have come.
The trauma that we went through before of not being prepared, now a lot of us are prepared for certain situations in case it does come and affect our town again. A lot of us have go bags to go. A lot more people have more supplies.
We don't anticipate the fire moving west very much just because of the direction of the wind.
That's all essential, says Lisa Cox, who's been sent to work this specific fire in partnership with the Forest Service and USDA.
People, pets, papers, prescriptions, all those things are important to gather and make sure that you know where they are and that they're packed and ready to go. But right now, we are making some great containment on this fire, so we're not super concerned about the activity of this one.
A town that once went up in smoke, hoping that now, that is the most notable part of this current fire.
When a fire happens or the smoke and different things like that, a lot of us talk and chat, and I believe that helps relieve our stress.
Fire officials tell us to this point they feel pretty good about the containment of both the Pyramid and Slate fires. However, as we know, that could change on the daily. So for more updates, you can check those on our website, kptv.com. For now, in Detroit, Dylan Scott, Fox 12 Oregon.
Dylan, thank you. You can see the smoke.